Think you can't start prepping because you're on a tight budget? Well, think again. You know, being prepared does not mean you have to spend big bucks. You can prep even if money is tight. And today, I'm going to show you how. No more excuses. You know, when I first started prepping, we didn't have this big prepper pantry, but I found ways to make it work. I used old juice bottles or pop bottles and filled them with free water from my faucet, and bought an extra can of beans or other items during each grocery trip. Small steps, but they add up. Now, this is the first video in a series where I'm tearing down the excuses people give why they can't prep. Prepare for emergencies for their family. And I'm going to show you how to prep no matter what your situation is or what your excuse is. Hey, if I can do it, so can you. I recently purchased this book, Adaptive Prepping by Karen Morris, and sadly, I didn't find it that useful. But it did get me thinking about all the excuses of why people can't prep. You know, whether it's time, it's money, space, there's always an excuse. But today, we're going to tackle the no money excuse. So let's get started. Hi, I'm Mary Ellen, or better known as Prepper Potpourri. On this channel, I share practical prepping tips, food storage strategies, and ways to make your household more resilient without that fear factor. So if you want to be prepared for whatever emergencies come your way without blowing your budget, this video is for you. And hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a single video. I really appreciate it. Now let's be honest, I think many of us are experiencing tight budgets because of the cost of groceries and other expenses, the cost of rent, or being on a fixed income. And you might feel between, rising prices and those everyday expenses that you can't afford to prep. But here's the good news. Prepping isn't all about spending tons of money all at once. It's about making smart, consistent choices that will add up over time. And trust me, every little bit counts. But before you think about prepping or expanding your preps, let's start with the absolute basic goals. Number one, you need to have at least 2 weeks of water and emergency food stored for yourself, your family, and your pets. So you don't go hungry and you stay hydrated if the grocery shelves become empty or the tap stops running. Now click on corner if you'd like more information, which should be your first step. Water, then food. And next you need a go bag or a get home bag for each family member. It's a backpack that you put in essentials that can help you if you have to evacuate your home suddenly. And 3, you need essential power out supplies. Flashlights, batteries, candles, a way to stay warm, and a way to cook your food. So those are the first 3 goals that you have. How do you reach them? Well, the first step on a budget is to know, where does your money go? You want to write down every single thing you spend your money on for at least 1 week, or even better, for 1 month. Even the small stuff, every single bit. You may be surprised. And there are free apps that can help you with this. Mint, which is now also a part of Credit Karma, is great, or Rocket Money. It will really help you track your spending automatically. Or Dave Ramsey recommends every dollar for zero budgeting. And I have all those links down below. Okay, you can see where your money's going. What could you cut or do differently? Could you cook more from scratch instead of buying processed food? Not go through fast food restaurants as much, or get that morning coffee at the coffee shop? Could you make it at home instead? Look at where you can cut your expenses. And then you want to create a flexible budget. And if you can just set aside $5 or $10 a week, it can be incredible how it can help you build your prepper pantry and your prepper supplies. You know that $20 or $40 could help you buy several cans of food and bags of rice or beans or even some basic first aid supplies. But sometimes even with the budget, you might find you just don't have the extra cash. Maybe you almost don't have enough to pay the bills you have. Well, then I think you have to look at what I call side hustles. You might try pet sitting or dog walking. My oldest son has a job where he can work from home on his laptop. So he, instead of working from home, works at somebody else's home and does home sitting and pet sitting. And he gets a dual income that way. And there are sites like Rover or Wag that can help you find customers who need pet sitting or dog walking. Maybe freelance work is for you. You're good at digital things, graphics, video editing, things of that nature. Then you can go on sites such as Fiverr or Upwork. Now, for many years, I did bookkeeping on the side. I had my regular job, but I did bookkeeping for many small businesses, and that really brought in a lot of extra money. Yes, it did take up a lot of my free time and my weekends, but it finally gave me that extra money that I needed. Maybe you can just go around your home and declutter and sell a lot of items that you have on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. Again, make some fast cash. Or there's seasonal gigs, right? Right now it's the holidays and you can get retail work, or maybe it's snow shoveling, or in the summer, maybe it is lawn work. There are other ways to make money. Maybe you're a great cook and you enjoy it. Well, maybe you can cook for other busy families and make some money that way. So if you have a side hustle that works for you, you could inspire others that watch this video. So please comment below. What side hustle has worked for you? First, you have to shop smart. You want to look for the bargains, the clearance items. Maybe couponing will help you, or there's sales events, or joining a discount warehouse like Sam's or Costco. Or maybe you can get great deals on batteries and things of that nature at your local dollar store. And of course, it's great to buy in bulk, and those discount warehouses help. And you might want to get other family members so you get a big bulk purchase, but you can share the expense, and that will lower your costs for that purchase. It's great for beans or rice or things of that nature. And then what about thrift stores and garage sales? You can get great deals on items at your local Goodwill or maybe your neighborhood garage sale. What someone else doesn't need might be just what you're looking for at a fantastic price. And look at the free resources. You know what's part of prepping too? Not just buying stuff, but also learning skills. And your local library is great for that. They have a lot of books that you can check out and learn a new skill. Now, I have a video here that you might want to check out on what I consider great prepping books and even free resources on the web. Okay, hopefully now you have a little cash to work with. So we're going to start with those basics. So first we're going to work right on that 2-week water supply. You need at least 1 gallon of water for each family member per day. And don't forget your pets or your livestock. So that equates to about 14 gallons for one person for 2 weeks. And the good thing is water is generally free. And you can put it in bottles, reuse them that you have, such as juice bottles or pop bottles. It really doesn't cost you anything except you have to have the storage space. Next, your 2-week food supply. And you're going to start first with cheap, nutritious food, such as beans. I know most people say dried beans because they're incredibly cheap, but they do take some work to get them edible. You have to soak them for a period of time. So it might be better to buy canned beans if you have the storage area. And of course, rice. Those two, prepper staples. But other things too, canned vegetables, fruit, canned meat, whatever you can find for a good deal at the store. I mean, if you just spend $2 per grocery trip, you will have a prepper pantry stash in no time. And next, work on those power out supplies. Like flashlights and candles and batteries and lighters. And it may be things that you already have at your house. So you can put it together and make a lights out kit like this one here. Again, more information in the video links down below. And then you're going to work on your go bag or your get home bag. And that's going to have different essentials for maybe a 24-hour to 48 period of time. You might want to have water in there, snacks, a flashlight, a whistle, basic first aid kit, spare clothing, a blanket, things of that nature. And you should have one for each family member. Now, a tip is to check thrift sites like Goodwill and garage sales or Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace or even FreeCycle for cheap backpacks and supplies. Okay, and we already talked about skills and prepping knowledge. Got to work on that. Again, most of that is free. It just takes up your time to learn the skill. And you can find them, some of them are on my own channel, but also from those library books. And there are free checklists that can help you for emergency planning on FEMA's ready.gov site. Just remember, prepping isn't about spending money all at once. Consistency is really the key. And even the most prepared houses started with a few basics. So don't get discouraged. It's not about spending a fortune at once. It's about taking small, consistent steps every day. That extra can of food, that extra gallon of water, and every skill you learn makes you better prepared for emergencies that might come your way. So here's your action item. I want you to track your spending for either that week or a month and start setting aside just $5 if you can, or $2 a week for prepping. And focus building on that 2-week supply of food and water, your go or get home bag, and some power out supplies. And then you've met your 2-week goal, and you can expand it to 3 weeks, to 4 weeks, whatever you feel you need. It's that easy. So again, we all learn from each other, so comment down below. What was the best budget prep that you found at a thrift store? I'd love to hear from you. And if you found this video valuable, please hit that like button and subscribe for more prepping tips. And next in the series, we'll tackle the no time to prep. As always, keep prepping, keep positive, and share the knowledge. Thank you.